And go.
Welcome. Isn't it? That's like the armchair expert from Dax Shepard intro right there. The welcome. I don't know if you ever watched or listened to that podcast or whatever. But anyways, yes, welcome. It's the Triumvirate episode 44. It's the Great Mattsby, Cantonese Cat, Tesla. Oh no, we got a rebrand here. It's not right. Tesla Tracker anymore. It is just Tracker.
Just Tracker. It's not because I don't love Tesla. You guys know I love Tesla and Elon Musk, who is trying to save humanity despite all of our best efforts to the contrary. Yeah, it just I chart so many more things besides just Tesla now. And you know, Tesla's just been the most confounding, the most frustrating, and it's just it's time for a rebrand. I don't need to hitch myself to one ticker when there's so many others that I chart. It's been so frustrating charting Tesla. But yeah, so I'm just we're gonna table that, put that back, and now with this rebrand, I'm free to track anything I want and do a great job of it, hopefully.
The polyamorous tracker.
There you go. Pineapple tracker. Upside down pineapple.
We'll track anything.
Oh my god. I went through that phase. No, I'm kidding. It was so fun.
That's the greedy of
you. Us were talking in the show for like the last 5 minutes before we hit the go button. I'm like, you guys are wasting all the good material now. You should hit the go button. We're talking about let's see. Kat said one of his followers were saying that the SPY has never had an unfilled gap. You have to go back to like, well, no, the SPY never had an unfilled gap, is what Matt found out. He actually went through
on the weekly specifically.
Yeah. Never had a weekly gap that was unfilled. And of course, we're talking about it because there's an unfilled weekly gap right now. And I've been saying in the show for a while, like the morning shows, that gap might not get filled for months, or even Matt found an example where a gap existed for over a year. He's going to show it to you now.
Yeah, I guess since we're talking about it, but I'll just delete this. There has never been in the history of the SPY a gap on a weekly chart that has never been filled. It's never happened, right? So if this never gets filled, that would be the first time ever for the SPY. But the only case I can think of was the gap during the financial crisis right here on the way down. This one didn't get filled until like exactly 1 year later, right? So maybe in a year from now, this one could come back down to fill that gap. So maybe we could do something like this. Just go.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying like you go to like 600. Yeah, keep going.
And with those sound effects too. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Kat.
At the financial crisis, it was like an inverse head and shoulders that brought it out. It took a year to bring it out.
Oh yeah, sure did.
It's a really sharp inverse head and shoulders with like a Quasimodo shoulder on the left.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
If we get something like that, but it's in the opposite direction. So we got a non-inverted head and shoulders that kind of clearly says, "Oh, like we topped out," but not to like SPX 6600 or 7000 or something.
But Kat, you found a gap.
I'm sorry, I saw that.
You found a gap in the 1950s, right, Kat?
No, on the SPX there was a gap, I think like 1958, and there's another tiny gap in 1975 on the weekly that was never filled. Yeah, so those are some like good old dry gap that was from like back in the days when you eat like a whole bucket of lard, and it's those kind of gaps we're talking about. We're running away from that right now because we're no longer Leave It to Beaver, and I have no idea
where are we going with this.
It's so funny. The whole reason why we started talking about the SPY and the gap is because we were talking about how we weren't going to spend a lot of time talking about the indices, because Matt and I already talked about it, or Matt covers it so beautifully every morning. But yeah, just a lot of people, because we were talking about how instead of showing you how the indices are clearly indicating to us that everything wants to go higher, we'll just look at some stocks that seem to definitely be going higher, and get to your requests of stocks, and it'll show you how they want to go higher too, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool.
But here's that
Yeah.
gap. 1975. There's a tiny gap right here.
Oh my
The
god.
little sneaky gap right there. I bet that was like a post-dividend day. You know, like if you count the dividends, it wouldn't. Anyway, I have no idea. I'm just making crap up.
I thought it was like a newspaper misprint or something. You know, like
Yeah.
back in the day when someone was hand entering into the database that forms what you see now.
Yeah, some intern was eating a bucket of KFC and like got some really fatty finger and slipped the paper. Anyway, all right, that's enough about the SPY. Let's talk about something.
Yeah, let's talk about what's hot right now, and that is this Bitcoin right at 110. Actually, no, it's not. It's at 109.995. What is going on here? Well, what is going on is this Gann chart has been telling the story the whole time where since it broke out, it hit the arc as resistance, and it's been just ping-ponging back and forth in between the arc and the level here. But it's looking pretty confirmed that this is a previous resistance with all these wicks, and this is now a support with all these wicks in the opposite direction. So this is a really stable 105.500, right? So that is really a defined support zone right here. But we're also at resistance. I know there's a lot of euphoria out there, but technically speaking, there's a lot of charts that are at resistance right now. And there's not a guarantee they're going to break out above this week, which could trap a lot of people if you get too excited, because they could easily just send it back down to support to make people panic again before going higher. So I'm always cautious at resistance here. There's not a guarantee to break out above. And so that's really what I'm watching the most for Bitcoin. And there's more examples of that too, right? I can look at XRP on this chart too. And it's at resistance of the, well, kind of the conversion line, but it's really upward sloping. So I don't know if that's too much of a resistance, but you can do the bull market support band. It's a 20-week moving average right there. It can't break above it, right? That's 233. So that's at resistance right now too, right? And we can even go to Ethereum as well. And guess what? It's trying to break the arc right now. Really, really trying, but it's done it before, right? It went up there before and then got faked out. So I kind of want to see more candles kind of close above this arc. And if it can succeed in doing so, then perhaps it can go up to the weekly Ichimoku cloud up there, which is right around 3,100, maybe 3,200 above. So it's looking good. It's there's a ton of resistance, as you can see with all these wicks right there. There's a ton of resistance that is trying to break above. And that resistance is basically all those moving averages. So it flipped the 200-week moving average to a support, and it's going back above. But technically speaking, this week's not over yet. So this could turn into a wick and then close back below all the levels again and just turn into a wick. So just to put it lightly, everything is at resistance, right? People are excited at resistance as usual, and they panic right here when it was at support. So this is something that we see in markets all the time. And I want confirmation that things are going to break out with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, with XRP, with everything really, and not just create some wicks. So if this momentum does continue on into the Sunday night close, then I think we'll have a strong weekly candle close. But the way it's shaping up, actually, when I look at the total chart, when I just look at the angle right here, it's recovering that angle. Last week it lost it, but now it's getting it back. So if this is any clue to what's going to happen with the total crypto market cap by Sunday, we could see continuation. We could see this angle hold as a support, just like it did back here, and then accelerate higher. So I think this is kind of forming a nice support zone for total. So if this is like foreshadowing what the crypto market's going to do, then it is likely that this resistance actually can get broken this week and the continuation can go higher. What say you, Kat?
Meow meow. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that's true. What you're saying here on a weekly time frame, where a lot of things are kind of hitting the resistance. But yeah, if you want to flip over to
That's cat speak.
Yeah.
Flip over to me.
So so this is a daily Gann I've been following for quite some time, really ever since like December 2015. I was kind of looking through here. Beautiful arc bounce around here. Eventually it's breaking through the arc, and it's been following this 45-degree angle here for a very long time. Back test the angle, back test the horizontal zone right here, broke back above both. Is there a possibility for it to come back and back test the angle here again before we're good to go? It's possible. Anything is possible. And on the weekly, a couple of things I'm seeing. One is it did I also have another again here, also create some pretty beautiful market symmetry here on the log scale here with these arcs over here has been resistance. All along, we broke about the resistance, we back tested it, and it looks like it might be a little bit getting ready to kind of run up a little bit higher. Even if I don't use the scan here, if we just kind of look at the formation on the weekly here, you can see, and this week is still a little bit early, you know, I mean, you still have, what, another 5 days or something like that. But so far, this could be a little bit of a morning star kind of look to it, which is a pretty decent local bottom before further bullish continuation. You also see the same thing here on the monthly here too, except the morning star was right here, and this is kind of like the continuation of that morning star. It looks pretty good so far. You got, like, you know, 3 Caucasian privates kind of happening right now on the monthly. It looks like it wants to looks like it wants to maybe keep going up there. And if you're also looking at some of the other indicators I generally look at, I mean, like, you know, I always think that when I'm talking about higher time frames here. What Matt's talking about, lower time frame, yes, it's true, is that resistance and we can get rejected. But on the higher time frame, things continue to look very, very nice. You look at the conversion line over here on the monthly, where it's just been serving as support and pushing price up higher. This is generally not how a bull market is, you know, it ends, right? Over here, we end up losing the tank in the blue line over here for a while before we come to get exhausted, but that's totally not the look right here. So anybody who says that the current situation look like back in 2021, I just don't really see what they're saying. Same thing here, as bull market broke down, you know, and got rejected here. That's when you have the bear market. We're not really having that morphology right now. The tanking right now is catching up. We're not too overextended away from the tanking, and I think we are maybe getting ready for a little bit of a run here. So pretty excited about Bitcoin. You also look at Bitcoin dominance here too. You know, everybody's been calling top Bitcoin dominance. It just keeps on wanting to go higher on bearish divergence. What can you do? Nothing, you know. But you look at the weekly here on Bitcoin dominance, you have a bearish engulfing candle that engulfs these past 4 green candles over here, and now you have these 4 inside candles to this red candle over here. So it does look weak, you know. Like, I mean, like weak, like, I don't know, you know, whoever. I was going to make some examples, but I'd rather not. It's just it just looks weak, engulfing on both sides. And right now we are showing some weakness over here too. And I'm not, by no means I'm saying that, you know, Bitcoin dominance is topping, because I don't really know that, you know, because if you look at all the indicators, it still looks yeah. Go ahead.
If Bitcoin dominance falls, it just means altcoin season, right?
Pew! It means 2 things. It means that we are starting. It means that the whales really want to exit, and it means that they want to pump altcoins and use it as like liquidity, and that means like things are going to pop. And it means that we're going to have a bunch of euphoria, which is not happening right now. You know, when Bitcoin is near the cycle highs, it basically means that there's a chance for Bitcoin to keep going higher. Altcoins can go higher with it, but they might still lag behind Bitcoin. And then eventually we start to see Bitcoin dominance really seriously topped, and there's a possibility we could be close. Then altcoins will really pop, you know. But by then you really have to be careful, because the tourists would come back and euphoria would come in. I mean, these things can last months and months and months, but it's just, I'm just not really seeing any reason to be panicked yet, because, you know, right now Bitcoin's near its all-time high, and so is Bitcoin dominance. So I'm not really too worried about it right now. What is interesting is this thing here called Ethereum dominance, which is a joke because Ethereum is not dominating. But it did bottom around 7% of the entire cryptocurrency market cap, and it's going back to 10%. You're going to see some resistance here around 10%. But I think that if you look at a daily here, I have the, you know, daily chart here. Look at the Bollinger Band. It's been squeezing for a very long time. Ethereum dominance has been going sideways here for way too long. Bollinger Band's been squeezing. It's been waiting for a big move, right? Last time it did that, it had a big move on the way up. This time it's doing that. It looks like it might be wanting to kind of shoot up here and break that 10% resistance. We're still at resistance, so I'm not sure, but it certainly has that look to it. I mean, it can really trick me and say, boop, boop, you know, I can do that, but I just, it doesn't look like that's what it wants to do. It looks like it wants to expand Bollinger Band to the upside. It looks like, you know, Ethereum dominance looks like it wants to keep going up higher. So maybe we're going to start seeing a little bit more of a rotation. Who knows? But it's certainly a character change here compared to before. You know, before we just have low, high, lower, low, low, high, lower, low, and now we really seriously have a character change, where there's a duck and there's a bill, and the bill wants to open. I think that's all I'm going to say today. So, Tracker, I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right,
Show us what you
I'm
got.
using this technique. Here's what I've got. It's this technique that I learned right here on the show from you and Matt, and I'm just putting a
I think you have to share your
here.
screen.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I was gonna
I'm
say
so
like,
sorry.
yeah, is
carried
Matt not
away.
showing your Karma Sutra skills?
No.
Like, is
That's
that?
No,
my
he
fault.
forgot to share his chart.
Oh, okay.
I did. I got so involved in
Yeah,
that
so
hilarious conversation just before the show.
oh,
Go. All right, thanks. So here's the total chart, which I almost never look at. I just look at Matt's. But I saw something on his chart that I thought was really interesting. We have to actually get to. There we go. Yeah, so I just put a Fibonacci retracement just from this move right here, turn 2.32 trillion back to the 3.71 trillion market cap, and what's going on? I did it backwards. I should do it from here. I should do it from here. Do the left side first, and then it sort of talks about. So, and then it goes to the right. So yeah, look, we're stuck up under the 886, right? From this move, 100%, and then between the 382 and the 236 retrace, and then once it regained the 618 right there, it could move on to get into this. I don't know. Maybe we'll call this the Brokeback breakout range. Like this is the breakout charts a lot lately, kind of identifying this zone from the 886. Yeah. And so here it is. This is the place to get excited, not because it's at resistance at the 886, but because that it's ready to break through this. On top of the 886, it's just gone from there. Not the second time here, but this third time for sure. And then so your next target is the 127 or the 141.4. So this is where we're going next, here or here. Just based on just what I've done right here. The significant bottom, everything that is happening on the right is a percentage of a retrace of what happened on the left. And there you go. I've been doing this a lot with my charts, and it's been fantastic, just like across the board. So yeah, it is time to get excited about crypto again because of this right here. And that's my. But maybe we should do. What do you want to do next? I'm not sure how to plan.
I mean,
do you want to go to?
Somebody's asking about more crypto charts like Solana. I can show.
Yeah, Matt's not doing crypto. I'm sorry. Matt's got more crypto to show us.
Yeah, just because somebody was bringing it up, and somebody wants Cat to spell run RUN. So I don't know if you did that yet, Cat.
I'm scared to do that because I don't know what that means.
It means are you in? Like, are you inside? Are you in this? Like, right? Are you in? I don't know.
That sounded like some kind of fetish. I feel like I need some tips to do that.
Yeah, that's what she said.
By the way, while we're doing this part, guys, in the audience, this is the part where you put in your request. We're going to do a larger than usual request section. So go ahead and get those requests into the YouTube chat here. If you start piling towards the end, we'll just run out of time. We won't get to the ones at the end. So if you're interesting,
yeah, we can do that.
Instead of a lightning round,
right.
it's like a thunderstorm.
And all day long, a request chat. Yes.
A plague of frogs, if you will.
So here's my Solana chart, and Solana, yeah, it's looking great, right? This is if I just take everything off, I know Kat loves when I say that. When I just take off all the indicators, we can see that the symmetry of this chart is beautiful. Breakout, we got a nice little broke back down there, and then a breakout again. Then this arc has been back tested multiple times, and the last time marked really the bottom back here on April 7th. So now we're getting back above the blue level here, and the potential to break above the arc is there. So kind of similar to Ethereum, where it's trying to break its arc. This is Solana trying to do the same thing. It's not as close to it as Ethereum is, but the same principle applies. Once it really tries to flip it to support, then it goes higher. It wasn't really ready last time because it did kind of get rejected by this angle right here, but now there's really no angle above it to block it. So once it flips it the next time, I think it'll be ready to go higher to the 600, 700s, maybe even 1,000 above. You can just put on the fibs just to see where it could go. And I think once it gets back above the 886 and the previous high of 2021, I think 669, maybe 1,000 could be easily on the table for Solana for this cycle, right? A lot of people think it's not going to do much because it's been doing not much for a whole year, but that's just like Ethereum too. It's like a lot of coins that haven't really done much for a whole year. But this is actually looking like it's getting better and better. So a few more resistance levels to break, 174.77, and maybe like the 188, 190 zone. Flip it to support, and then it goes, right? Then it'll be good to go to the 260 and above. So a lot of confluence that if ETH goes, then a lot of other coins can go too. A lot of them.
How do you like the awkward silence?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I want more of it, actually.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving that to you.
I was, and then, hey, listen, DFDV is DeFi Development Company Corporation, and they've been going nuts lately. I bring it up because they have this clear Solana strategy. So that's there's some confluence right there.
Oh, you want to chart it right now? Just get her done. Come on, bring it up on your screen.
Sure, I can show you. Let's see.
It reminds me of DVDA. I don't know if you guys know what DVDA is.
Is that a DVD with an
No, have you watched the movie Orgasmo? You should.
I do remember that ticker.
Oh, I think so. With Trey Parker, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Go search DVDA and Orgasmo and thank me later. Anyway, continue.
They're superheroes, yeah. Quote unquote.
Thanks for that, Kat. Here's my DF.
Yeah.
In its beautiful entirety. This move up here, nothing. Forever delisted penny stock. And then something happened in May, and now here May 22nd ran to 53.88, dropped back down 10% of retracement fib from this significant low here. I know it doesn't look as significant on the linear chart. That's how I like to chart things linear, but it's pretty significant right there. Yeah, the 11.4 fib it went, and now we've got these extensions, and it's doing, I'm for a 382.236 Fibonacci extension on the right. And so, yeah, I'm looking for 31.21 next at minimum. That is about 16% higher to 22.41. This is when somebody asked me about it. As soon as I charted, I said, I'm buying this thing. It hit to 42.12 and still come back to 24.46 for support. That'd be fantastic if it does that. 2.236 move to the 123.6. And then looking to the left here, this significant move, obviously it's going to get dicey once it gets, but exciting, right? Once it gets into this range, this thing again. This range right here from the 886 to the 70.2. So that'll be the exciting range for it to argue over before it breaks out. And then we get to the either the 127.2 or the 141.4. And you can see my 123.6 kind of lines up with the 141.4 maybe. Tips 70.70 and goes to 73.02 and then tops out there. That is what I see for DFDV. And that's just the third wave. Then like my 5 waves predicts a dip back down to that 886, the contentious 886 again, and then runs up to, this would be like a 261.8%, I think, on the left-hand side, and it's the 223.6 on the right with the extensions. And there you go, DFDV. I've got over $100,000 in it. Actually, it's grown to my largest position because it's been so successful. since my cost basis. Yeah, it's up 40%. It's up like 22%. All right, and this is thanks to Solana. That's why I brought it up. Back to you, Matt. Tell us more about the crypto market.
I see another request. Yeah, I see another request that I don't know if it's a crypto or a stock. Sim, I think Symbiotic is a stock that they're asking for, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for more crypto, but I think SYM is actually a stock. But
Show
I
us-
was looking for more crypto if people were talking about it.
XRP is still boring, right? Talked about it.
Well, I wanted to break above like 233, 234. Yeah.
You should talk about PEPE. I think somebody asked about it. I don't know if you went through it or not.
What people?
No, not yet. I can do
Mattsby again.
I can do PEPE before we do some stocks here. I'll do a few more cryptos. Yeah, let's talk about my PEPE, huh? Let's talk about it all night long. So here's my PEPE chart, and it's actually starting to reclaim this angle as well, and that is a great development. So something that was a very good support zone back in 2024 did get some liquidity below it. It did a breakback and a breakout, brokeback, whatever you want to call that. That's the name of the show anyways, breakouts and brokebacks. So breakout, brokeback, there we go. Now we're looking at this support to hold, the 10287 here, and the angle to keep going higher. So this is basically now I think has potential to go back up to this 1.618 fib right up here at the 15482 and then try to break out and go higher. But there is more resistance in the way. There is that Ichimoku cloud up there as well. So not really guaranteed to break out immediately unless it's like just one giant bullish engulfing candle to cut through all that resistance and then flip it to a support. So things are setting up to do that, right? A lot of coins are setting up to do that with a potential acceleration for the rest of the week. So if it does happen, then this could be the real deal. But we just need to wait, or I just need to wait for confirmation. So I don't get too excited at resistance here, but good developments holding the conversion line and good developments getting back on top of that angle at the moment. So good job, PEPE. Yes, nice 12% week so far.
Oh, the awkward silence. I love it.
I know you do.
Did somebody request? Was play fetch? Is it like wanting the cat to play fetch, or are you talking about like fetch AI or like what?
I think they're talking about El Fecho.
Oh, fetchel? Is it a thing?
No.
Yeah, Fetch AI.
Yeah, it's fetch. So yeah, fetch is great. It's just powering through one resistance level at a time. 84 cents is next. That's the 886. I want to see it back above that 886. And these fibs are basically from last cycle, the last cycle high and low. So get back above that. It's good to go to the dollar range, maybe $1.08, $1.19, $1.20, $1.50, whatever. But I still personally absolutely love this symmetry of this chart. Right, you can't say it's not beautiful because it did everything according to plan, right? Basically, up to the orange, came back to the angle, up to the arcs, back test, did get that liquidity below, then back test. It's like a breakout back test, straight to the blue level, then kind of double tap the arc on the way down. It's set up so perfectly to continue the trend higher, right? I love this kind of setup, and it's looking like it could have one of those more explosive candles to start cutting through more resistance and head back to the 350. So if you're looking at about possibilities of this chart, I mean, is $80 possible? 76? I don't know, right? But I think it's probably going to go back to previous all-time highs up here, and I think it's probably going to get into like the $8 to $10 range up here as well. Before any kind of major correction or the end of the cycle. So this is still one of my favorite looking charts, even though it hasn't done anything. But it's followed the symmetry perfectly, which is why I cannot hate it.
There's also somebody said sushi.
A sushi swap. Are we doing some
guessing
sushi swap?
Yeah.
Sushi swap. Which exchange do I like? I don't know. Maybe Binance is fine. Do I have a chart for this? I don't really have anything, but this one doesn't look exciting to me at all. Just without indicators, I don't get excited about this chart. Maybe it's like a triple bottom here or one of those 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple bottoms. Yeah, kind of like what Cat likes, you know, all those bottoms. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. But
Weird.
But yeah, just pulling a fib here. That's all it is. It's holding the 0 level, and when you put on other indicators, it's not really doing much, right? Still below all the moving averages, still below the cloud. It is trying to get above the base or the conversion line. So it's just a big snooze fest for me, right? Until it really gets on top of the cloud or above this this fib right here, the 212, then I don't really care about it. Like these kind of coins that just flatline for a long time with no symmetry at all. I like symmetry, and this one has none, so I don't like it.
Awkward. Okay. All
I,
right. You want to flip to me? I can do some requests too.
whenever we get,
got a few.
I've got that symbiotic incorporated here.
Oh, you want to do sim? Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do them
so
later.
I apologize if I'm breaking up. I've been noticing that my audio is breaking up from you guys, so maybe it's breaking up in both directions. I'll try to not talk too quickly. Here's
yeah, I think it's your connection.
My M chart. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I am on the right. Yep, I'm on the right Wi-Fi. Okay, so if you look to the left, SYM had a 875 and an all-time high of $64.14. And that gives us this fib retracement. It went all the way back down to the 11.4% fib on the left retracement. And I'm looking for a 382-236 pattern for the fib extensions on the right. Just a quick reminder, fib extensions are you take the lowest low, the highest high, and then the next, the highest, no, the lowest higher low after that. So you get a 1, 2, and then the 100% here is just like taking this 100% move from the wave start to the wave 1, and you tack it on to the wave 2 start. So anyway, looking back over here, a 382-236 kind of lines up with level on the over here, and then back right just under the 382, and then it sends it on to this one predicts about maybe the 141 again, 8707. So my Fibonacci extensions on the right says 3704, 2895, then 8434 next. This is the weekly Ichimoku cloud. Seems to support that as far as the clouds itself go. And then do I have I got the order block detector on. There's a big sell order block right here, kind of banded around under the significant high and around the 618. And then here's I just kind of did the 886 to the 70.2 in blue, so you can kind of see where the initial battleground will be. And then it runs up and tests back to the 886. And then on the wave 5 is like basically like a whole nother set tacked on to the wave 4 top or a bottom, I mean. So there you go. Percentage wise, from where price is right now, that 382 extension would be 30% higher. And then to the 123.6 would be 196% higher, or if the 141 left, that's 206% higher. Like, if it can do the rest of this, then that's about 390% higher. So yeah, it's a good looking chart from right here. There you go. What else we got? I'm not seeing as many requests as I thought I would see. Oh, here's ACHR. Oh yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Okay.
Or if he doesn't chime in, I'll just show my AC.
I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah. So this is all right. I'm gonna go through as many as I can here, kind of knock them out. Here's Alibaba on a monthly chart here. There's nothing bearish about this chart. It's got a beautiful Adam Eve double bottom. It had a breakout, a back test of the entire butt line over here of this very nice Adam and Eve. Hello. And then it had the reason why these Adam and Eve double bottom form is because you have a very, very vicious downtrend. You need time to correct these things, right? So eventually, just having an Adam bottom is not enough. You have to have an Eve bottom really trying to flip these indicators here and get a bullish technical crossover here, which happened. And then you end up having a breakout, and then you back tested it perfectly back in April. And right now, we're just kind of stuck underneath the cloud over here. But the good thing is we're kind of stuck in range right here because you can see that we are having a conversion line over here as support, and we're trying to push inside the cloud. It looks like there is some penetration movement here that is happening. And if we truly get the right penetration at the right angle and it really stays in, it could potentially come up, but not all the way out, and you can actually touch the bottom of the cloud. And then it could potentially, if it ends up holding here, then it can have the big up like that. You're not going to go to the hospital up, but you probably end up going to maybe like top of cloud somewhere around like 180s. I think it's possible, but I'm not sure whether or not it's going to push up right, just like that, because the reason why is because the Bollinger Band is not yet quite expanded all the way up yet, but you are finally having a little bit of Bollinger Band expansion here. We couldn't really break inside the cloud because we're just simply way outside the upper Bollinger Band, and we just have to do a little bit of cool down here. And this cool down is happening as expected on declining volume, which is required for a big giant move like that to cool, right? You can't just break into the Ichimoku cloud here without having some cool, get some gel, whatever it needs to do to cool down. And it's cooling down right now, and now the Tenkan finger here is trying to push it into the cloud right there. So I think it's looking pretty decent. I think it's just a matter of time where the cloud actually gets broken into, and once it does, I think some pretty decent price action is going to come. Yeah, and the other thing, resistance 0.5 fib, we got rejected over here last time. I think it's going to break through too, because usually the second time is the charm. I don't really expect it to break through the cloud in 0.5 the first time, but I think it's getting ready to do that at some point soon. Now, higher target is breaks to 0.5, against 0.618, which is 166. You got the total clouds around 180s. You got the 0.786 here around 221. Those are some plausible targets here for this cycle. It breaks to 0.6766 here. It could make some all-time high, but let's just do one level here at a time. It looks like it's a pretty decent chart overall. ACHR, I haven't looked at this for a while, but it's breaking about the 0.786, how it got rejected for 3 months in a row over here. It finally broke above it. We're not yet closing in a month. The month is still a little bit immature, so we'll see how it goes. But I love this kind of look where it just kind of break big giant green candle, back test the bottom of the cloud, back test the baseline, back test the conversion, back test the 0.618, back test the 0.5. A lot of these things down here have already been back tested. There's not really any particular reason to go back and remake the Brokeback mountain anymore. Like it's already done it, So I think that it wants to push up higher, and I think that's exactly what it's doing. I think 0.786 here is probably going to end up getting broken here. If you look at the Bollinger Band here, last time you couldn't really break through because it was a little bit waiting for that Bollinger Band to expand. Right here, now it's expanding. Now it's expanding to the upside. So I feel that it's going to actually turn out to be pretty okay. My mouse is kind of like messing me up here. Let me, there you go. All right, I'm free now. Okay, so you can see that Bollinger Band is finally expanding here on the monthly. So that's, yeah. That's why you can see that it's probably going to push up higher. It's probably going to challenge the previous all-time high here. And if it breaks the 0.786 here for good, I think it's going to end up hitting some higher targets up here. How high does it go? Is it 33, 51, 84? I do not know for sure. But with the Bollinger Band, with the monthly breaking up like that, and with the fact that we are using some very, very beautiful Ichimoku cloud support here on the monthly, I think the good chance is going to probably go up a lot higher. I don't really have much to say about AMD. I think it's getting closer and closer to resistance as we speak, which is the monthly Tenkan over here. You can see that if you look at other time frame, it might be a little bit higher, but regardless, 120s, 130s is going to be some resistance there. You're about to get a little bit of a bullish crossover here, but I think that things have just gone up way too far, way too fast. It hasn't really had that higher low quite just yet. I think eventually it's going to get a higher low. You're also seeing you're hitting the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly, so you're already sort of hitting some resistance up here. So be a little bit careful. I think that this is the bottom. The reason why I think it's the bottom is because it really had touched the monthly low Bollinger Band with a big giant wig. It also, already slashed through each Ichimoku cloud and found some really good support here on the monthly. So I think this is the bottom. The question is probably going to, like what Matt was saying too, I think it's probably going to chop here a little bit before going up higher. So you have to be a little bit more patient with AMD. And then finally, Adobe, if I can spell Adobe correctly. It's one of those big laggards, but it does have a Morningstar look to it. It did end up holding 0.382 here. So I think it probably end up grabbing back up to 0.618. We'll see what it does up there. Before it does, it could also potentially get rejected at 0.5 here as well. So watch out for these levels, because 0.5 was where previous support over here is turning the resistance now. So watch out for those levels. It did hit the lower Bollinger Band. Usually when it does that on a monthly, I think that there's a good chance that it's bottom, but it's also having a hard time breaking into the monthly Ichimoku cloud here. You have resistance right now currently as we speak. So you got a lot of resistance up here above monthly Ichimoku cloud, 0.5, 0.618, down sloping Tenkan. All of these look pretty nasty for it right now, so just be a little bit patient. But I think this is possibly the bottom. I can't guarantee you that, but it's looking like it's at a pretty decent spot here. So that's Adobe. I think I'm going to go through two more. I'm going to pass on. I think this one, Vivian was talking about this. I guess it's like a play for another, like one of those like MSTR type play. It's hard for me to chart these things because it's such a big vicious downtrend. But maybe it's trying to develop some bullish diversions. I don't know. I never really like to be anything until they're really breaking, above the 20-month moving average, which there's a good chance that it could be doing because the Bollinger Band is squeezing really, really tight. So maybe it ends up doing something like that and then go up, and then I might try to get into it right there if I'm interested in something like that. But right now it's just no. Elf Beauty probably have also bottomed too, because it touched the monthly Ichimoku cloud here perfectly. Look how beautiful that monthly Ichimoku cloud touches. And also broke above the Tenkan, is stuck in a range right now. Guess what we're trying to fight against here soon, which is the 20-month moving average. If we have to flip the 20-month back from resistance here to support, then more bullish things to come. But we are close to a lot of different resistance here at the kitchen, or the baseline, as well as the 20-month moving average, both those around 130. So I think we're probably going to end up having some lagging here on this recovery. I think it probably needs some additional time to kind of push through before we go higher. If you want to look, now you have a big bottom and big top over here, you can actually, do a little bit of a fib level here. You see how it's trying to get to the close of 0.618 retracement on the log fib here. That's going to be some resistance here. So we're close to a lot of resistance here. So just be a little bit careful. I think this big giant move out here probably needs to cool down here a little bit. You can look at the weekly, how it's just moved up a lot, and you really haven't had the high low or the handle for this cup. It probably needs to, come back down here. How low does it get? I don't know. But we're hitting a lot of resistance, so just be a little bit careful here. You're also hitting a upper Bollinger Band here. The upper Bollinger Band is not really expanded that much yet on the weekly, so you might end up having some issues breaking out. And if you have some issues breaking out the 0.618, you'll probably come back down and form a little bit higher low before for a bullish continuation. Back to you guys.
Oh, you don't want to continue? There's more. There's Netflix. There's Hood. There's MSTR.
It's y'all now. It's y'all now. It's y'all now.
Actually, I wanted to show my.
Share the load.
I wanted to show my. I want to show my. Ooh, that's what she said. I want to. I want to share my elf chart real quick.
You sound like a guy in a trench coat, like stuttering. I want to show my.
Yeah, that's exactly who I am.
He swapped his
I just wanted to show my
classic
elf
hoodie for a trench coat.
That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to show my elf chart for some kind of confluence of resistance coming soon, and how beautiful the market symmetry was. During all that panic, it had a destination, guys. It was a gigantic brokeback of the blue level, right? Breakout, rejection, backtest. Clear V bottom. Now resistance is coming soon. Yeah, so 130s. I would be careful up there. That's what I would. Maybe even before that. Big resistance coming soon, but the V bottom is beautiful. So the recovery could be real, but just wanted to share that confluence. Okay, I'll do a couple more, then I'll pass it off to Tracker as well. So Hood. Yeah, why not? Robinhood, still at resistance on my Gann chart here. Yeah, I did mention this last week that $75 zone right here was going to be a resistance, and sure enough, it still is. So really, I'm looking for a breakout above it, right? And not just like a tiny little breakout above it, just like a better, more conviction, bullish candle breakout. So then when it does back test it, it could actually flip it to support. So it's really a resistance zone. We can look at all the other indicators on here, and ultimately there's a lot of higher time frame support down below. So if it does get rejected, it could go back down to like the 60s or even high 50s as well to retest that. So we'll see, right? I mean, crypto's bullish, everything's bullish right now, but also everything is still on the weekly charts are at resistance as well. So that kind of means that we got to just wait to see if it can power through. But Hood, I'm not going to be convinced until that 73 to 75 zone really flips to a support, and right now it's not. So that's what I'll be waiting for Robinhood and MSTR as well. We can see it's above the cloud, above the conversion line. I did pull just a fib from the all-time high to the low here just to show you that it's actually getting rejected now by the 618 for the past 4 weeks in a row. So it closed at, what did it close at today? 391.18. Yeah, and the 618 is 392.08. So it did close right below it still. On a day-to-day basis. And if you can even look at the daily chart, it's really stuck under the baseline too of that Ichimoku cloud too. So it's a bullish chart on the high time frame. It looks like it wants to go higher, but I think it needs to power through some more resistance to get more bullish. And it never really back tested the cloud ever since it broke out. So that's one thing to consider just in case, right? Since it broke out, it did back test it down here, but in 2003, when it launched, it never touched it here. Never touched it here, never touched it here. So is it possible to go back down there to the 350s and touch it? Yeah, sure it is, right? It's not even that far away percentage-wise. So that's one thing I'm looking at for MSTR. But ultimately, once I think it gets back above like all these bodies of the candle, maybe the 786, the 452, then I think it has really good potential to go to all-time highs, maybe the 600s, maybe the 700s above. So this could be where the cycle might want to end for MSTR, where that arc is, where the 1.414 is, all of that juicy stuff up there in the future. So that's what I'm seeing right there. And the last one I'll do is Palantir. And Palantir, what I'm really focused on the most here is I think what Kat is probably focused on the most too, and that's just the Bollinger Band on the monthly chart and how it keeps on riding it as a support month over month over month over not that month over month over month, right? But it's basically pushing it up closer and closer to resistance, and that upper band right now is at 131.79, and it still is riding it as support. So until that kind of breaks the trend, it's still going to be support. And is it going to go straight to 157? Maybe not, because the linear scale fib is at 147.31. So I think that could be the next shorter term target before any kind of major correction for Palantir. So I think that's the only thing really to pay attention to this momentum here, because you can't fight the strength. It's just so strong, so powerful. All right, Tracker, how about you? You go choose some.
Yeah, I'm gonna go backwards through the 2 stocks you just did, and then hit all the requests that I can as well.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me show my Palantir. I think I have it right here. PLTR. Very similar to what you're looking at on your linear scale chart. I've been tracking this this large degree wave 1, wave start, wave 1, wave 2. These fib extensions. I'm looking for. It did a 618.382. I'm kind of looking for it to complete like an actual 762. So it might be too wild. It just keeps looking. No matter what, I keep coming up with about 145.46 as the next target for resistance. Here's these 141, 127s on the left. That's right around. That's what this box is right here, the sell box. And then I'm looking for some kind of retracement back to, if this is a 764.382, 105, the retracement I'm looking for, which would be huge retracement. Is it banana? If you remember, or either of one of you, banana stocks has like this 303 period moving average or something that he follows, I think. Anyway,
325, I think that's what he used.
You guys who follow me, 325. So I've been forever, and recently what's been appearing on my chart is this thinner gold line. And what it is, it's a 4 times 75. So it's a 300 period moving average that I've been using. So I can like look at a 4-hour chart, or no, I can look at a 1-hour chart. And so I can see the 1-hour moving average 75, but then it also shows me the 4-hour moving average 75. That's why once I put it on there, I've been noticing it shows me all sorts of other things too. So going back to this 8-hour Palantir chart, what if, see how it tagged it right here? Maybe that's where it tags it for support. When it comes back to this 105.43, it's such. I haven't been in Palantir for a little while here. I kind of got shook out when it was just doing this SOS, and I haven't been back in. I've been trading other stuff. But if it does this, I'm going to buy the heck out of that right there, because it goes 100% higher to 210.23. So anyway, that's just my little bit of confluence about 145 being a resistance target. Then I said I'd go backwards. Here's my hood chart. I just had one of my other subscribers ask me about where would be a good place to enter hood. Now this would be controversial, but let's say if Matt's looking for it to bust out in $76.09. If it can't do that, it already did this sort of wick in after hours because everyone was hoping that the SPY is going to add them to the index, and they did not. Yeah, I'm looking for it to test back to, I'm calling this a 7382, so I'll bring it back to 5175. So if it does that, it sort of just kind of shows, I don't know, if it foreshadows something about how Palantir might do the same thing, not that they're the same stock, but because I literally just showed you what I'm looking for in Palantir. Let's see if it happens in Robinhood. A 764 back to a 382, that would take it to 5175, or 28% lower from where price is right now. That would give it the momentum, the pullback, if you will, to propel it to my next target, which got messed up by TradingView at $111.85. You look back to the left, and here's the 127.2, 141.4 bracketing right again around there. Maybe this one's, my price target's a little closer to the 141.4, so maybe instead of 111.88, it goes to 117.37, and that'll be a terrific move if you were able to capture it, ideally at 51.75, and sell it for 117.37. That's a 126% gain. There you go. That's hood. Somebody mentioned that KIDZ was also doing a Solana strategy. Here's KIDZ, Class Over Holdings. It's a weird stock. I don't know anything about the stock. It's odd that it spent all this time around $10 to $11, like Disney World divided by 10, and then finally it did this weird breakdown. And I don't know where they announced their Solana strategy, but just based on this significant low of $1.03, the all-time low of $1.03 here, to this significant high of $10.65, it went and backtested almost to the 11.4% retracement on the left, right about here. And then I'm looking for, why did I do it this way instead of the other way? This would probably be the subwaves. I'm so sorry. I don't know where my brain is. That's probably the subwaves, and then the actual larger, this significant low at $1.03 to this high, and back to this higher low. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you off of the extend line straight. All right, this is how I chart all day long. I just kind of push these fibs around. Let's make you 360. Perfect. Actually, a little more. All right, so the minor wave setup looks like that. Three-wave setup would go, so from, I did that. Yeah. 3. That's right. It went to the 382, but it lost the 236. What if it does, let's look for a 618, 236. It looks a little bit different now. 1236, 764, 2236. A little higher. There you go. All right, and that would be like the larger degree chart. Oops. And then that, yeah, so the wave 3 top This one has much better confluence with the 141.4%, 63, and look, it's 1432 for this 123.6. So yeah, you know, I'll just delete this altogether. You're just wrong. Here we go. There's my KIDZ chart now. So yeah, this is sort of like an A, B into the C wave up to wave 1. And you can see how that moving average 300 to meet it right there for resistance check at $8.38. Strong emphasis. 618. There you go. There you go. You can take a screenshot of that if you want. KIDZ. Oh, and then percentage wise, from our prices right now, to that wave 1 listing. I might have to buy a little of this. It is on the NASDAQ, right? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I like it. KIDZ. Another Solana strategy thing. Let's see. What else do we have in the requests? Tabbing around.
There's a INOD that we missed.
I can do that. I feel like I've done that one before. INOD. INO data. Yeah. I've done this one before. Here's INO data. Oh, look. Let me check this chart. I don't know when. I drew this 3-4. I think, I mean, this price action, I drew this 3-4. So here we go. From, you know what I haven't done is I haven't put the MAT fibs on here yet. Let's do this move right here. All right, so yeah, it went to 618236 already. This is probably what I was looking for it to do. And what it kind of did a 618382, but it did go to the 123.6. Oh yeah, this is probably a 382236. Look, 32. Once it kind of got 236 back, went to the 1236, back to the 764. It wicked down a little bit to touch the 8-hour Ichimoku baseline, and I'm going to say that's the bottom end. It's going to go from where price is here in pre-market to 57% higher to 69.56 next. Now, what's interesting is that let me just change this. I love keeping these. I love my little templates here now. Here's the 232.236. The 2. It doesn't even do the breakout from this previous high. Maybe I have to look at one of these other ones to get it to match up. Like that. Like if the market was, but if you do look back to here, you know, this thing could easily go to $84 or $91 next. So just as that'll probably be in the next set of waves. So after it hits wave 5, you do like an A, B, C down, and then go to one of these two, 9 or 160% higher. Not a super fast move, wave 5 top, but yeah, this is mirror. INOD. Let's see. Oh, OBLG sounds inappropriate. Is that a stock? OBLG.
Cat already
okay,
did it.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can do
yeah,
a few kind of like to kind of give you a break here as well. So this is the chart for AR.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
Do it. Yes,
I'm
sure.
sorry.
Well, look at that one candle, Cat. That one candle is just amazing. Let's wait. I want to see you do TA on that one candle right now.
So this is the weekly. This is a daily. So I'm done. Next, we're talking about Netflix. Netflix is a chart that has just been going up like insane. I really don't have anything else to say about it. It's crazy. It's hitting a very important target though, because really this is a linear fib, I believe, is what I have. So basically a big giant cup over here. As soon as you break out, you didn't really even do a broke back. It's just kept on going up, right? You hit the target right here, which is basically double the price from where the distance is up here. It's basically hit the target right here for this cup, you know. So I think there might be some resistance here that is hitting that is maybe a little bit concerning. But I'm not going to bet against this just because it just keeps on going up in a straight line. And at some point it needs to fall, but I just don't know when that's going to be. If you look at RSI, it's got some bearish diversions, sure, but it also had some bearish diversions up here that eventually got resolved and broke out and get negated. So I really don't know what this thing wants to do. I just think that if they continue to have liquidity coming in, this thing can just keep on going up. Would I want to buy here when it hit like the 2 linear FIB level here? Probably not, because they already kind of hit a very important target. Can it go higher to like the 2.272? It's possible, but there's not much meat left to bone, if you know what I mean. Wink. 1.414 is sometimes also very important law fit level. 1.618, if it breaks 1.414, it could get up there. I see that as a possibility, but it's getting a little bit to like some pretty important level here. So I'm probably not gonna buy. I'd probably wait for at least like some minimum pullback, because it looks like it's, if you see this as a big giant channel, it's kind of the top giant channel over here. I prefer to buy maybe at like the near bottom of the channel at least. That's kind of my own feeling about it. You got Pfizer. Pfizer is just a falling knife. I mean, this thing just unfortunate. I was trying to find, like, I was looking at this the other day. I was trying to find, like, is this holding some kind of like Ichimoku support? Let's look at a monthly. Let's look at a 2 month. Let's look at a 3 month. Nope, broke down a cloud of all these different time frames. What if I look at 6 months? Oh, it's finding support right there. Okay. Doesn't mean that it's the end of the downtrend. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. If you look at the RSI, usually I like to, when it comes to falling knife, I like to look at a few things. Is it a cashable falling knife? I think it is. It's got all these nice wicks down here below. It's got a little bit of bullish diversions where price gone down and RSI actually trending up. Like, I would minimally, if I want to catch a falling knife, I would minimally want to see that there's some higher time frame bullish divergence in RSI. I'm seeing that with this. I'm also seeing another thing that's very positive with this, which is you're actually touching the low Bollinger Band here twice. Now touch on one side, went to the other side. So this is a potential falling knife that I might be interested in catching, but either way, there's no hurry, because the negative sloping 20-month moving average is going to continue to service resistance anyway until further notice. You're probably going to, even if this thing like bottom, you probably end up having some size consolidation here for a few months before going up. They're really trying to make the 20-month moving average not as negative sloping to kind of reclaim that before going up anyway. So I don't really see a big hurry to try to like jump into Pfizer here. Another one that I think has been absolutely vicious is PepsiCo. Unlike Pfizer, PepsiCo has not had any bullish divergence here on the monthly, on the 2 week. It's just, I just cannot say that this thing is bottom. It's forming a little bit of bear flag here, but it's got some bullish divergence here on the weekly. But do I want to buy something just because it got some bullish? No, I'm sorry, bullish divergence here on the weekly. Do I want to buy something just because it has some bullish divergence here on the weekly? The answer is no. I want to see more than that, because this thing can keep dropping and keep dropping and keep dropping. I don't know when it's going to end. The Bollinger Band is expanding to the upside, to the downside, and it's just been riding the low Bollinger Band to the downside. So I'm going to stay the heck away from this one, even though I normally like to catch falling knives. I just don't know. Is it going to find support here at a 2-month Ichimoku cloud, 3-month Ichimoku cloud, 6-month Ichimoku cloud? I don't know. It is finding some support right here at the baseline of 6 month, but like, I don't know what that means. It's just a downtrend improvement otherwise. So that's that for that. And then you got the Nancy Pelosi special here, which is Tempest AI. It's a chart that's just kind of been going sideways here, not doing too much. But now that I got a little bit of a higher high here, I suppose I can do some additional FIB levels retracement here. Yeah, I try to push through back with 0.786, not ready yet, but it's bouncing on 0.618. It's just consolidating sideways here, but it's above these Ichimoku support. So not a bad look. It's just been trendless. Like, if you look at the that's a weekly, but if you look at like the monthly, it's been doing nothing. Look at a weekly, Bollinger Band's also been doing nothing. I just, it's finding more support than resistance, which is good. It's probably going to grab up here, up a Bollinger Band to the 80 again. But I don't know what's going to do after that. I have no idea, and I don't really care. Talking about GTLB is another one that somebody has requested. GitLab. Big accumulation zones, what I see, but it's also kind of trendless. You look at the monthly here. If you pull up the 20, the Bollinger Band here with the 20-month moving average, it's like underneath right here, resistance. I don't really see anything particularly enticing about this chart. Underneath the conversion and base here on the monthly, I don't really see anything particularly enticing. Underneath the Ichimoku cloud here on the weekly, even on the 20-week moving average, is starting its resistance. Even the short term is not really like a good trade per se. So I'm going to leave that thing be here. Clean Spark. Clean Spark is a little bit of a different story here. Clean Spark is reclaiming the 20-week moving average here. It looks like it wants to gravitate up to the upper Bollinger Band here around $11. And it looks like if you look at the daily, it really looks like the trend has changed from a downward sloping trend here to upward sloping trend here. If you zoom in here a little bit closer, it really does look like a inverted head and shoulder breakout with a back test that went a little bit lower than it should. But it looks like it wants to have some further bullish continuation here on the daily. On the monthly, this chart still sucks because it's still underneath the 20-month moving average, but it's up sloping, so I don't think it's going to be that bad of a resistance. But the one thing is it did end up breaking inside Ichimoku cloud here just by going sideways. Is finally entering and breaking and entering, without permission. Hopefully Ichimoku cloud is okay with it, not rejected this time like it did over here. Eventually, it's going to end up breaking above the Tengen Kishin because I think this whole big giant consolidation sideways, like this thing, like in hindsight is 2020, right? Hindsight's 2020. In hindsight, I think that there was just very, very little chance for it to break about the 0.786 here on the first try. We were hoping that it would break, sometime within the next 3 to 6 months, but nope. Keep on getting rejected off the cloud. You end up breaking down, find support 0.5, end up breaking down underneath that. Now you're entering back to the cloud again, which is a positive development. You end up closing inside the cloud is a positive development. This is the volume weighted average price from the cycle top and the cycle bottom. And we're about to hit resistance up here to around $11, which coincidentally is kind of close to the upper Bollinger Band here on the weekly too. So I think we're about to hit resistance. Probably end up going sideways here, maybe a little bit down here again. Everybody's gonna get frustrated, but once you break above these resistance, once you break about 0.618 fib, I think it's going to get to the 0.786 fib here in a hurry. But it's still underneath all resistance right now, so it's probably not going to do too much here for next month or so, unfortunately. And I know that Matt has a SOXL GAN. I'm not going to talk too much about it if you want to jump in, because I think we also have a few crypto requests here too. But all I gotta say is it looks like a very nice reversal here. It's still underneath a lot of resistance that it's going to run into above pretty soon, but I think there's still probably a lot of room for it to kind of keep going up here. On the monthly, on the weekly here, you're going to see it's already hitting resistance, but it looks like it might be trying to break above that here a little bit. I think it's probably got a little bit more momentum to kind of go up a little bit more, but this move here needs a higher low. We're getting close to a liquidity zone up here. I'd say I'm going to be around like $24, $25. It probably needs to form a higher low. How low does a higher low get? I don't know, but I don't think it's going to just go straight to the cloud. It's probably going to be I don't know which one it's going to go, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here with SOXL. So that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to pass to Matt. Do you want to do a few crypto?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna do Tesla since they delayed the robo-taxi to June 22nd.
Dun dun dun.
But it's down $3 overnight because of that news. Oh my God, it's catastrophe right now. I think the world is probably going to end, guys. We should probably go to some bunkers, get some spam, eat it, stuff like that.
I'm gonna fill my bunker with Cheetos. I like Cheetos.
Fair enough. All right, here's my Tesla. Nothing's changed, right? Big rejection up here. This was expected before any stupid announcement. So price came back down to the 702, 272. It bounced, and now it's actually trying to get back above, or it is succeeding above that 306. So does it with this robo-taxi news? Is it going to go back down to the 306 and back test it? Well, I do have the linear scale fibs I'm really watching now, and I'm watching day over day now. So the daily chart actually tells a pretty good story. How it went to get liquidity below the 618, below all these moving averages. Then it had a quick recovery back above the 200, the 100, and the 618. And today it finally reclaimed that 321.32, and it actually closed that daily gap as well on the way down. So yeah, tomorrow I think retesting that 321 zone or a little bit deeper is probably expected, right? So just look for a back test, another Brokeback or whatever, down to maybe the 320s, maybe even the 308, 306. That's all acceptable, right? But staying above the 200 and the 100-day moving average is not too shabby at all. for Tesla. I think whatever that delay is not much. It's 2 weeks. Who cares, right? So let's just pay attention to the charts. 321 down to the 308, 306 zone. I think that's really what I'm watching after that gap fill. You know, usually when it fills a gap, it kind of reverses a little bit before it's ready to break higher. So good looking chart, but maybe not ready to go back to the 340s, 350s just yet.
Well, now I want to show my Tesla chart.
There are some. Yeah, you can show your Tesla. I was going to do some crypto right after that, so go ahead.
Here's my Tesla chart, and I was posting this this afternoon. I think on this 1 hour chart candle that crossed through my important 305 fib, but 23.6 fib, and I think it's going to want to back test it. So I'm looking for 305, not 76, 305.52, maybe 76, but I'm looking for just a clean touch of this 23.6 before moving on higher, eventually to this, well, past the 3.2 actually. Anyway, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I had no idea that they're going to pause the robotaxi delay. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are selling covered calls that are really happy to hear about the delay. And yeah, let's look for back test to 305.52 tomorrow or this week anyway. Go ahead and do your thing, crypto stuff. And I've got a whole bunch more tickers to do their stuff.
Yeah, I think we still missed like IBM and all that other stuff too, unless Kat did that one.
I got IBM.
All right, yeah. Let me
go ahead.
Let me switch back to my chart. So see that crypto request there, CRV. I'll just do this really quickly because there's basically no change for a lot of things. They're just stuck in ranges. So CRV is no different, right? We can go to the Ichimoku SMAs and just show you that it's stuck underneath the cloud and underneath the baseline, but it already did break back out of the 236 fib. So it never back tested it. So is that possible? I mean, with crypto, everything is always possible. So that's 53 cents. That is a confluence of the 100 week and 50 week moving average. But we do got a bunch of resistance. So it is closer to resistance than it is support. So perhaps just a little bit more time before it can break above this and go towards the 87 cent 382 fib above, right? So it's still range bound, trying to break out, but unsuccessful so far. And let's get to, let's see, what other ones did I get to?
I swear the hardest part is like going through the chat and trying to find the ones we haven't done yet.
Oh yeah. I wrote some down too. So I'm just going to go with what I wrote down. HBAR. Yeah, so HBAR, I have this GAN here, and it's also range bound too, right? You got the cloud above here in the 21, 22 cent zone. You got the 20 cent fib right here, the 618. And then you got the GAN levels, right? And I think the symmetry of this chart is really beautiful. So we can just look at the breakout of the arc, back testing this orange arc, then a huge breakout back test of the 45, which was a big important resistance and support zone, and it held. So the symmetry is nice. It's just getting ready to get more bullish. It just needs more time. Maybe 20 cents is the next target to really break above to get more bullish. And is it there yet? Maybe not yet. It's just trying really, really hard. So give it more time. Like that's with everything right now. Just give it more time, because with time, it can just build a nice foundation and break higher. So let's continue on with Doge. I think I did Doge. Didn't I do Doge? Maybe. I don't know. So Doge, I think the only thing to pay attention to is this 50% fib right here. And these fibs are basically from the all-time high down to the low back in 2022. And this halfway point right there, 19 cents. Just look at that for stabilizing on top of. You can also look at, I sent a post about it like last week, the 20-month moving average, that hit as support last week too. So this is riding that 20-month moving average as a support for 4 months in a row. This is not a bearish chart. It looks very bullish. I think it wants to go higher after this consolidation is finished. And we'll get some JASMY going. So JASMY is underneath the 20-month moving average. So I'll take that off. We can go back to the weekly chart and just see what's really developing in this zone. And when I put on all the other indicators here, the SMAs and the Ichimoku and stuff, we can see it just really got rejected by the 100-week moving average and the conversion line right there. And this black line, I kind of drew that because this was really an important zone in the past where it broke down and crashed directly to that zone, and then it bounced and then it broke down. So this is technically kind of like the breakdown zone before it really recovered. So it already V-bottom back test to the blue angle down there, so it's not necessary to go back down there, and it already back tested that zone as well. So I think it's also just range bound like everything else, right? It's just range bound in between that 013 up to the 017. So just needs more time to get more bullish before it can break out. So just like everything else. And we can look at XLM here, and XLM, same situation, underneath the weekly conversion line and above the 50-week, but a lot of resistance above still. And if we do put on that bull market support band, it's still also below that 20-week and 21-week EMA right there as a resistance. So almost every chart we look at on the weekly chart is basically closer to a resistance than it is a support, which kind of means that I think it just needs more time, which maybe means things are not ready to break out, but we'll see, because like Kat pointed out, the monthly charts are looking more and more bullish. So perhaps they can supersede all these weekly charts and just keep on moving and moving and moving it throughout the week and break levels. So we'll get our answer by the end of Sunday for the weekly candle close to see how they develop. But right now, things are still just stuck.
All right. Well, I was going to ask if you and Kat could do me a favor. I'll flip over to me. I'll start doing charts, and if you could just like tell me the next one that we haven't done yet, and I'll just keep rolling that way because I lose the most time just trying to figure out what I'm doing next. Here's my IBM chart. Yep. Thank you. I decided not to go to this low back here. It looked like it just was kind of doing nothing for a very long time. I decided that this one fit really well with the price action that's going on right now. I know it's a little bit of cherry picking, but there you go. From the October 10th, 2022 low to 199.18 in March of 2024, and then the April. No, what is that? Anyway, 1, 2, and then what it's done here is a 382, 236, 1236, and then 764 should have held as support, and it tried to right on this candlestick here, and then whatever 7th. Well, there you go. April 7th dropped it below the 764 support to 618, and now we're heading for the 2236 next. So 349.63 is my target for IBM. I suppose if I just pull this, kind of bisect the price action, this and it's a 5 subwaves, which I don't have the time to chart right now, but probably something like this, something like that, maybe. Subwaves. Hello. Anyway, 349 IBM. If you've got IBM, you're a long-term holder anyway. It's such a slow, boring stock. 26% to the 349 resistance. Then it goes ABC, like this, something probably the 50% level of. I have to do like this from this high to where I started the whole thing right down here. 50%, 255.79 is where I would expect a bullish C wave to stop. There you go, IBM.
All
right. And then
TMDX.
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 Yep. Transmedics. I've done this one before on the show.
Yep.
Here we go. I was looking for an ABC retrace to the 618, and it's already done much more than that. In fact, the retrace. And let's look at it from fib extension point of view. Let's try to do this one. No, it's going to 618. So this is a 618 one. All right, so from this significant high of 177.37 to this higher low, $55, it looks like it's going to the 618 at 158.43. So what's left here is about 12 to reach 158.43. Then back to the 236 at 94.50. You can see the sell block order is already set up there. That would be about 40% lower than 158. And then if you can catch it at 94.50, let me just get this one. From 94.50 to the wave 3 top would be the 123.6. This is in the wrong place. Yeah, it would be 261.87 and the 764. But you know, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's see if it does all the rest of it first. But there you go. The 2236 is right here. That'll take us to 429 eventually. Or let's see if I copy this one. Yeah. That'd be 360% higher. See, this is the kind of I like. It's a biotech, but this is a pretty good biotech as biotechs go. This one doesn't have like a. It's not going down into the right. It's going up into the right. So yeah, TMDX. There you go. 158.43 next. I was going to do
Oscar Health.
ACHR.
OSCR.
Oh,
OSCR.
right. You know,
I'm going to do the rest.
Yeah. Okay. Oscar Health. I'm in this one. I like this chart. I'm looking for somewhere between my fib extension of the 382 at $19.50 to the 70.2 fib retracement on the left at 2080. That's not what that says. 2005. Oh, I did a 127. It's this 2080 right here. I did an extension. So this is a weekly also. That's why it's missing some data here. I like to do 8-hour charts just because it gives me all the pre-market and after hours action. So yeah, I'm looking for between 1950 and 2080. If it goes from where price is right now, that's 41% higher to 2080. It would be 33%. Then it drops back to 1633, and from there, it would go to the 123.6. This is why I bought this chart. I mean, bought this stock. 131% higher to there. So there, it looks good. And I've got a caution around 2720 and then 2898 because that is the fib retracement extensions over here, 2720 and 2898. So that'll probably be like the third wave top, and then fourth wave, and then fifth wave takes it the rest of the way. All right, what's next?
I can do the rest, and we can just finish it up. Yeah, thanks for spending the time and doing
this. Well, let me show ACHR because this is one.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is one I'm kind of proud of. ACHR has from the wave 1, wave 2, it went 764, 382. So now 2040 next is the main target. And I try to do some subwaves here. Maybe it wants to touch 1370 and then drop back to 1212 again or so. But we're still down here. So anyway, if you just buy it, if you buy it now and stay in, you can stay till at least 2040 or 79% higher from our prices right now. But I do have a caution 1690 and 1818 because that is the 127.2 and 140. That would be 48% higher to the 127.2, about almost 60% higher to $18.18 or the 141.4. Take us out, Kat.
All right, Matt, you want to flip it to me real quick? I don't know. He's having his martini.
He probably thought it was going to go
the
longer.
show again. Oh, sir.
Instead of your chart, I was doing your microphone. I was like,
why me up? I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't have any problems with it. All right, let me finish the show here. Do a few chart questions real quick. I like this chart very much. This is finally breaking out the 0.382. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a wick. The reason why is because I think there's actually a trend change here. Look at the monthly Bollinger Band. You can see how the 20-month moving average has truly been flipped from resistance here to support. But the reason why I couldn't really push up that high and we couldn't really push up previously above the 0.382 is because we simply just haven't had that monthly Bollinger Band expansion. So we're going to reject it. It's third time we're trying it. Looks like we got a little bit more momentum. 20-month moving average is curling up. Looks like Bollinger Band is finally starting to expand here. I think there's room for it to go up now. This is a very, very beautiful chart. I think it's going to do some pretty bullish things. If it ends up not getting rejected here again, then I think $23.68 is going to be the next destination. Probably going to have a very, very hard resistance here around $38.30 though. I'm going to just put in monthly Ichimoku cloud here. Maybe it gets up to 0.5, 0.618, somewhere around those levels over here, depending on how far and when it gets up there. But this is a bullish chart. It's already above the Tenkan in Kitchen. It looks like it wants to go up. It looks like it has the momentum to do that. So Alistair is looking pretty good. Payment is holding. It's basically a bullish chart. Big giant cup here. Nice handle. Looks like it wants to break about the previous all-time high here. Still underneath resistance here. We might still need a little bit more energy to kind of break through. We might need to another higher low before pushing through. We will see, but it's above the conversion in base here. And the beautiful thing is you've got Bollinger Band. Last time we couldn't break about the previous all-time high. Why? Because we really haven't had that Bollinger expansion in our monthly quite just yet. Now we do. Now it's right there. I think we're going to have enough stretchy to allow us to go pushy to go up a lot higher. And whenever it does, some of the hard targets is up here above 59, 81, 116. But before it does that, it might need, there's a possibility for a little bit of a higher low here before the higher low is going to be maybe $30, maybe a little bit higher. Nobody really knows the answer to that. You look at the Ichimoku, there are some additional support here around 34, around 32. So maybe it needs to come back for a little bit of a higher low, touch the cloud even and go up higher. But look at how beautiful touch the cloud over here and here is. It just looks like it wants to go up higher over time. And I wouldn't worry about the little details here. Now, what is NAUT to get is this Nautilus biotechnology, because this is very much still a downtrend. If you look at the monthly here, this is something that I would not touch. Because you look at a Bollinger Band, your Bollinger Band is still expensive support here. 20-month moving average is going down here. This looks like a criteria that I would like to have. One is, at least I like to see it kind of bounce off and then touch the Bollinger Band at the other end. This Bollinger keeps like, it looks like it just wants to keep going down lower. The other thing is, at least I like to see some kind of bullish divergence here on the monthly, but I'm not really seeing any bullish divergence here. But I'm seeing, like RSI right now is in the 20s, but this is something that I just cannot really get into because there's no guarantee that this falling knife is going to end. At some point it might, but I just don't have enough evidence to say that this is something that I want to get into. So I'm now going to get into it. Walmart. I actually have a can here. It's got some pretty decent market symmetry at 360 and 1 on the monthly here, and it's already hit the resistance zone over here, but broke out and back tested it. And right now we're simply getting closer to the back test of this arc up here. So it does look like maybe it's getting ready to go up to the next level. It's coming around 113, 114, somewhere around there. And I think that this consolidation is not a bad thing because it was just waiting for the Tenkan, the conversion line here to catch up, touch it. It looks like there's room for it to keep going up higher. It's just needed to take a break after this big giant monster move over here. So I think there's still probably a little bit more room to go up, but a lot of gains have been made. So there's a possibility, like, maybe this is some kind of like wave 3 or something like that. And maybe this is like wave 5. And so be a little bit more careful about this stock. I wouldn't necessarily want to, like go all in Walmart just because it ran up a lot. But does it have room to go up? Yeah, it does. The next level is going to be around 113, 114. That's kind of what I'm seeing here with Walmart. And then one last one, I'm going to take us out. Unless if you guys keep requesting, which I don't see any right now. ALAB is just going sideways. I don't have anything else to say about this chart. I don't really have anything to chart here on a higher time frame because I don't even have a monthly Bollinger Band. I don't even really have any like Ichimoku. Ichimoku conversion lines there are serving as resistance right now. So if I look at a weekly time frame, trying to extrapolate and see what's going on, not much is going on. It's just going sideways. It's like it was above the cloud, now it's below the cloud. It's stuck in a range. I'm going to leave this alone. All right, guys.
Woohoo!
I've got.
I think we got
just
through
did ALAB.
all of them.
Talking. Yeah,
Go for
that's
it.
Great. Let's see. Here is my ALAB chart. I'm just waiting on Matt. Thanks so much. All right, so I did the whole thing. I built it from scratch. I'd never seen this one before. I love when stocks from their IPO, I want to buy them near 50% of their IPO. This one never went that low, which is, quite bullish for it, actually. So it did do, here's this move from 35.63 to 147.50 is your whole Fibonacci retracement range over here. And from this highest high and this higher low of $47, it looks to me like it wants to test the 618. It's sold off right here at the 50%. There's like still a sell wall at this 50% fib extension level of 102.93. But I think once it lifts, it's going to want to go to the 764, the 618 next. The set out of the 70.2 to 88.6 range, and that would have it go back and retest supports for a higher low again to the 236. So that makes sense to me. So I think 116.14 next, back to 73.40. Then it spends a little bit of time in this range right here, gets over the 886, then bang zoom 27.2 lines up really almost quite well. Actually, I'm right in the middle of it again. My 123.6 is right between these two, so I'm not sure which one it's going to pick. But there you go. Let me just see. Let me get percentages on here. From where price is right now to this is 27% higher. To my 123.6 fib extension is 101% higher. Maybe it goes 112 or 96% if it does the Mattsby fibs on the left. And then eventually this chart would then test back again to the top of the 886 is about where my 764 is for support after the 123.6 fib at 185. And then, usually like you can count on the wave 1, 2, 3. It's the wave forward breaks. But if it holds up, then my levels predict 226% higher to 297.14 for the 223.6 fib up here, which is probably again maybe like 2618, 2764 of the retracement on the left. There you go, ACHR Labs. Never seen it before. Just started for you.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Tracker. Yeah. I think we're gonna go. 9 o'clock. Hard stop. Let's go.
Man,
if not, they're just gonna keep requesting over more and more and more. So we got to cut it off. We'll be back tomorrow, Tracker.
Let's go.
Yeah, no more requests. But
I know you're addicted, man.
I am. I'm addicted. Can't help it. With my I can.
But we got to cut it off at some point because I think we have marital capital that we cannot expand entirely. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll finish it tomorrow in the morning. Yeah, Tracker.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. I really had fun. Matt and Kat, you guys are the best.
That's always.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what we can report on next week.
For sure.
Until next time, we're gonna keep going until next time.
Yep.
So don't worry.
We'll be back.
You
can start it. You can start another live stream.
You can do it yourself. but Tracker and I will see you guys in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
I promise my subscribers I get a good night's sleep tonight, so I can do more charting for them. All right, I'll see you guys.
Yes, you should.
Morning, Matt, and maybe you too, Kat, if you drop in on our show again. Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks again.